Hey, Jess.
Hi, Bree.
How's your day been? It's Monday, the start of the week.
Yeah, I've actually had a slow Monday though. I went to the mall with one of my friends. Her birthday's
Mhm.
coming up. We're
Okay.
trying to find her something to wear for the weekend.
Okay.
So a nice little Monday. What about you?
It's been long, but that's because I went into the office today and
Mhm.
it was boring. I don't understand the point of an office because it's so boring.
You would think by now that people would know we don't really have to be in the office that much,
You
you
don't.
know?
You really don't. You really
Save energy.
Yeah. And money. You're paying for a building and all that. Save money. The episode today talking about work. We're talking about adulthood.
Yeah, transitioning from being a child till now and how that's changed and whatnot.
Yeah, an experience for sure. How do you feel about adulthood?
How do I feel about it?
hmm About like your life now, being an adult.
Hmm. It's been a roller coaster. A complete roller coaster. But, I definitely wouldn't want to go back to being a child. It's been a learning
Mhm.
experience for sure.
Um, like before graduating high school, I always hear, "Oh, you're gonna miss it. Enjoy it." I don't miss high school.
I do not miss high school at all. I thought that it would be college for me, though. I thought I would miss college. I don't miss college. I don't miss high school.
I
I
don't
don't
miss.
miss any of it.
I
I
don't. Like we
prefer,
have. I feel like I have memories of like certain things from childhood that like,
of
oh, that was a good
course.
memory, but like I don't be
Mhm.
like, oh, I want to go back to high school, take me back to college. Like,
Mm-mm.
no, I'm
Mm-mm.
okay.
No. No. I remember feeling like I don't wanna grow up, like, I'm not ready to grow up and
Mhm.
whatnot, but now that I'm here, I don't think I never am like, "Oh, I miss high school," or "I miss
Mhm.
college." No.
Mhm. Yeah, I used to be scared to grow up too. My mom used to always be like, "You have to grow up." I just didn't want, and, like, it literally was a period in time where I didn't want to grow up, and I was like scared of it. And I was like, why can't I just be a teenager forever? Like,
Yeah.
do all of that.
It was definitely a lot easier than
Mhm. Definitely.
now we have all the responsibilities and everything that comes with being an adult, but
Mhm.
I wouldn't
Mhm.
wanna go back.
So,
It's a blessing to get older.
it really is. And I used to be scared about getting older. Like,
Mhm.
not just like thinking about oh going into adulthood, but then I used to think like I don't want to be a mom. I don't want to like have a house that I take care of. I don't want to get old. But now I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with getting old. Like, 'cause if you don't get old, you die young. So
Right.
what options do you have?
Yeah, right. There's no other options. But that's crazy because I think even like now recently, I'm just getting to a point where when my birthday comes, I'm actually excited about it
Yeah.
because, or at least I'm like at this point, like use reverse psychology, force myself into being excited about getting older
Mhm.
because there's a part of me that would be sad about losing my youth, how crazy that might sound.
Yeah, I
I've
feel it.
even had birthdays where I've like been emotional and
Mhm.
like wanted to cry a little bit. And it's like, girl, what is wrong with you?
I was the same way. Like when I turned 25, I was like, wow, 25 must be 30. That's how I felt.
Yes. What
But like
would you
looking back now, it's like I mean, 25, either turn 25 or die at 24. It's how I think about it now. So it's like,
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
looking forward to it, I guess. I mean, I think what I think about most is like my health. Like when people get older and like your health deteriorates, then
Mhm.
now TikTok has this old age filter, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to like age in my face and my body
Mhm.
because I'm not gonna recognize myself. I think those are my main two fears about getting older. Is like my health and then the way I look
Your
because
appearance.
change, wrinkles, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Some people's teeth fall out, like all types of stuff. So I'm like, girl, I felt a gray lash in my eyelash.
Really?
Yes, I had a gray eyelash.
That's crazy. For me, I have like gray. I have like a couple gray hairs in the
You,
center of my
I
head. Yes.
in my hair.
I noticed it like right after graduating college. Like like there's definitely a couple in
Mm-hmm.
there, but I haven't like pulled them or anything because I hear that if you pull it out, more will come. I don't know how true that is, but
Yeah.
they're there.
Mm.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh. I've left mine, but you can't tell because I wear lashes. So, but it's just this one gray hair, and I'm like stuff like that. You can't stop it. It just comes.
No. Do you think once you get to that point where like your gray's really coming in, do you think you'll be the one that dyes it consistently, or are you just gonna let it?
Well, I'm wearing wigs, so I don't think nobody will see them. But
Oh, that's a good point.
I don't think I'll dye them because when I was younger, I actually used to think gray hair was so cute. So I feel
Really?
like, yeah, like I feel like it's like a look, like it's cute. Like
Hmm.
like an older woman's whole head be gray and
Hmm.
it's, like done nice, pressed out or whatever, or in their natural
Yeah.
state. Like it's so cute. So I feel like I don't know, maybe I'll dye my roots black and just rock the gray hair. I don't know. I feel like I won't because I don't like, as crazy as it sounds with my lashes and my wig, I don't like a lot of maintenance.
Hmm.
So having to like constantly dye it,
Hmm.
I just feel like I would not.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be the one that dyes it though.
Really?
Hmm. At least until I get to a certain age. I'm thinking. So in my family, I feel like, or at least I've heard, is that we gray early.
Mm-hmm.
So genetically, more than likely, these grays are going to start coming in
Mm-hmm.
when I'm at a point where I'm still kind of young, like probably
Mm-hmm.
like 40s or so. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I'm going to be at a point where I'm ready to embrace it.
Right. I mean, I get it. I get it.
Hmm.
I don't think I'm ever gonna embrace wrinkles. Like I was literally looking at Botox a month ago because I was like,
You
I
said
think,
Botox?
yeah, and I
You're
told
looking it up?
yeah, because okay, so I thought people were crazy for doing Botox, right? Because I'm like, why would you get Botox so young? But they're saying it's like a preventative for when you get older. And when I
Hmm.
think about it, I don't want wrinkles. Like I really don't want wrinkles. And even my great grandma used to have these black spots on her face, like
Hmm.
what I'm talking about, like black moles that a lot of people,
Moles?
yeah, but
Like
they're
just like the ones with texture that kind of sit up or just kind of
the textured ones.
okay.
Like my great grandma, she had a lot of them
Hmm.
on her face, and my mom said that's like something that's like prevalent in our family with age with women.
Hmm.
And I noticed that I had one on the side of my face, like a real small one, and it was like 3 dimensional. And I picked at it and it fell off. Thank God, it hurt.
It just
I
fell
don't,
off.
I don't want those. But I thought there's a surgery you can get. There's like surgery you can get where they remove them. But I promise you, if I get those, I don't know if they're called like skin tags or what. But if I get those, I will pay the money to get them removed because the wrinkles in that, no. I'll keep the gray, but the wrinkles and those skin tags or whatever you call them, no.
I wonder though, like as you age, if you'll get to a point where it's like you feel this way right now,
Mm-hmm.
but as you get older, you'll probably embrace it more.
I don't know about
Maybe.
the wrinkles. I don't know about the wrinkles, guys. I don't know. And that's why I was looking at Botox. I told my dad, I was like, I might get Botox. He was like, no. But I just feel like, I don't know, if I can like preserve my skin and not
Mhm.
sag,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
it's that being afraid of letting the youth go. That's what
It
I was
really
feeling every birthday.
is. It really is. But like, I feel like, because being young, of course, we've only been young. We've never been old. We've just seen older people. But I
Hmm.
feel like you just kind of look at it based off of what you've seen.
Hmm.
Because you don't know to like be an older person. You just know the people, not old people, but the older people you've seen in your life, whether it be at work, church, in your family.
Hmm.
And so that's what you have
Right.
to base it off of. And so I'm trying to think of like Like in my mind, I think of Jada Pinkett Smith because I just feel like she looks good for her age. She's in good shape. Her mom even like right in the mind, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, that's good. Like they've aged well, so that's not like
Yeah.
when it talks about the transition of getting older.
Yeah. I think it's important to remember that like it doesn't have to be bad. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be a bad experience
it
as you
does.
get older.
It really
There's
doesn't.
things that you can do to take care of yourself and so that you can age gracefully and whatnot.
What was like for you the moment of like, oh, I'm an adult?
There's a couple. There's a couple. I think the first one though, like being like an adult was after college and working full time.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because like right after college I didn't find a full-time job. So I was like, I'm gonna work two jobs so that they can like supplement each other. And I was like, I've never felt this type of tired before. I was like, there's definitely a difference between like a working tired and just like going to class. And I don't even care if you're a full-time student. It is just different. That was like one of the first times I felt like, oh, you are really grown. And then also turning 25. It's just something about that number 25. Cuz 21 for some people is 21
Mm-hmm.
because they feel like you can drink at that point. But if you're someone that like doesn't really drink, like 21 is just kind of
Like,
21.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
same.
25 was like, okay, girl, you're like hitting mid 20s. You have 1 year left on your parents' insurance. Then
Yeah,
you gotta
that's what got it for me. I get kicked
then
out
you
here.
gotta yes. Then you gotta figure it out. I'm just like, that was when I felt like grown.
Yeah,
Those two for sure. What about you?
when I got kicked off my parents' insurance, and no, before that, I got kicked off of their dental and vision. That came first,
Mm-hmm.
and so I was like, "What? What do you mean?" So I had to get my own dental and vision, and I was like, "Wow, I'm grown." And then
Yeah.
I think when I did my taxes for the first year after college, after working, then it was like, "Yeah, I'm grown," because I owed like
Yeah.
$10. And I was like, "How do I owe money?" Like, so that those are two times where like it hit me like I'm grown.
I think one of the most okay, so the other time though was when I had got a job. It was in a different city, so I had like moved out of my parents' house and I was working full time, paying all of my bills and just like being on my own. That was also because you know, like if you live, we've both experienced living with our parents and also
Mhm.
living without our parents.
Mhm.
So like once you're like really on your own, there's a difference between living with your parents and being grown. And of course you're still grown, but you
Mhm.
still kind of like have that the shelter of being in your
Yeah.
parents' home. There's some things that you just don't have to pay for. There's some things that you just
Mhm.
don't have to do depending on like your situation. But when I was like, "Oh girl, like you paying your rent, you're paying your utilities, you're the one that has to do the grocery shopping, you're the one cooking because if you don't cook, you're not eating." That
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, you're definitely grown now."
Yeah. Having to think about what you're gonna eat for dinner every night. That's
Mhm.
one thing that I kind of do miss about like living with my parents or like being younger. Because I do not like grocery shopping or trying to figure out what I'm gonna eat for the week or
Mhm.
like you know what I'm saying. Like I didn't have to think about that unless it was just
Yeah.
like I feel like going out to eat tonight. Other
Right,
than
right.
whatever's in the house, whatever she cooks or orders, that's what I'm eating. What do you think is like the most challenging thing going from childhood to adulthood?
So, you know, you did talk about how, like, the health situation.
Mhm.
Honestly, I feel like that is one of my biggest challenges as I get older because, like, I'm getting more in tune with, like, my body and how
Mhm.
it reacts to things and whatnot. And I feel like at this point, sometimes I've become like, what is the word? It's like a hypochondriac.
Mm,
Is
yeah.
that what it
Yeah. Yeah.
is? Like the slightest little thing, and I'm like over the moon about it. I need to go to the doctor and maybe something is wrong with me.
Yeah.
Like the health thing is one of the like one of the more challenges as I
Mm-hmm.
get older. And then also being optimistic because I feel like when I was younger and even in college and stuff, it sometimes feels like anything is possible. You can do anything, this and that. But as you get older, and sometimes you're hit with more disappointments, and sometimes things don't go the way that you want it to,
Yeah.
it's hard to
Yeah.
stay optimistic and have an open mind for things. And yeah.
Yeah. Because adulthood is like reality. So it's
Mhm.
that's so true because it's like a transition from childhood, from the innocence and the optimism to adulthood to like reality, like gotta pay this, gotta pay that, show up to
Mhm.
time, So
Mhm.
I definitely get that. The optimism
Yeah.
kind of fades away going into adulthood. It's like what's real and what's realistic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. And it's like you don't want like of course it's reality, but you also still like in a sense don't want to put yourself in a way where it's like, oh, like you're just being like a negative Nancy and you don't feel like this or that can happen. So
Hmm.
it's like finding the balance
Yeah.
between the two of them.
Yeah. I just watched actually today. I was supposed to be working, but I was scrolling on YouTube and I saw this dude's video popped up. I have no idea who he was, but he used to play basketball
Mhm.
and he literally quit the NBA to pursue YouTube full time because that was his passion. And he moved
Wow.
away from, I think he said moved from Orlando. He's living in Orlando, I guess the team he played with or whatever. Don't know where he moved to, but moved away, quit the NBA, and he's doing YouTube full time. And he was saying how he's just trusting God to like lead him because
Mhm.
his passion is YouTube. And a lot of people
Yeah.
look at, oh, that's kind of crazy. Like you had a sure thing in the NBA, playing, getting a check. Of course you might
Mhm.
have to go from team to team or whatever, but
Yeah.
you're in the NBA. Versus
Mhm.
now you want to go and do YouTube, which is not really a sure thing. Like a lot of people don't make it on YouTube. A lot of people don't get the fan base that they want. And
Mhm.
that's so brave to me because
It
as an
is.
adult, being in adulthood, you usually go with the sure thing. Like you're gonna do your
Mhm.
5, you're gonna do whatever is like a sure thing. You're not gonna be
Mhm.
as optimistic and willing to just go for whatever it is.
Yeah, because a lot of people are like in survival mode.
Yeah.
Like they don't feel that they can take those type of risks. And I mean, some people they just really can't. If we're being honest, not everyone can. They're not even in the position to
Yeah.
be able to do that.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
for
for
sure.
sure.
I think for me, the most challenging thing would probably be, which sounds, it probably sounds crazy now that I'm about to say it out loud. But for me, it's like I feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere that I'm not already. And
Mhm.
so, like, soon as I graduated college and I came to the realization of being in adulthood, I just felt like automatically my life is supposed to be like this, 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 this. And
Mhm.
I feel like that's when you start putting a restriction and a timeline on yourself. Because like as a
Been
child, you
there.
don't have those timelines. Like you're just
Yeah.
going through life, going from one grade to the next, getting your license, whatever. But then it's like
Mhm.
for me, once the realization set in to like I'm an adult, that's when the timeline set in for me. So that
Mhm.
was like the most challenging thing for me, which I'm still trying to maneuver. But I'm
Yeah.
trying to not put a timeline on myself and to literally like enjoy the moment leading up to whatever goals I have.
Yeah. I'm the same.
Yeah.
I am the same. I remember I think you mentioned last episode that you were a planner, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
I am too. I am too, and especially because we live in a world that is everything's based on the time. Like
Mhm.
that's why we age every year.
Mhm.
And there's age limits to things and there's age restrictions and so it kind of seems like you have to put a timeline on
Yeah.
things.
Right.
And that is something that I struggle with too, not trying to put a timeline because you will drive yourself crazy because more than likely what you plan out a lot of times, not to say that it's not going to happen, but you getting to where you want to be a lot of times doesn't play out the way that you have it played in your mind.
I don't think it ever does. I
No.
would like to meet somebody who said, "This is what I wanted, how I wanted it to go," and it happened. But
Yeah.
I feel like you'll accomplish your goals. I just feel like it's not gonna go the way you expected it to.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's just the
Yeah.
hard, especially if you like want that control.
Mhm.
Mm. Which brings me to friendships. How I'm gonna say for me, making friends as an adult is hard. It was
Mhm.
easier in school or like my son, I feel like I can just take him to the park and he'll make a friend like it's nothing. But like me, I go to church with maybe like 200 people. Who's my friends in church? I don't know. Like it's harder to make friends as an adult, I feel like.
Yeah. I would agree. Especially depending on the type of person that you are
Mhm.
because some people are just like those very loud, outgoing people, never meet a stranger.
Mhm.
I'm not that person.
Mhm.
And depending on like how your life is set up, most of the people that will even become your friends are the communities that you're connected to.
Mhm.
And as you get older, I feel like the communities that you have get smaller in a sense because like in school you're just around so many different people. You
Mhm.
are in clubs doing sports, so you're just in contact with more people. But then as
Mhm.
you get older, it's usually depending on if you have children or not, like a lot of times your family is either with the people, your time is spent either with the people that you work with or your family. And so most of my friends at this point will have either become from people that I've known for a very long time or
Mhm.
people that I've just like connected with through work. But I'm also not that person that likes having a lot of friends.
I
I
get it.
am the what is it, quality over quantity.
Mhm. I
I
get
like to keep my circle small.
the same. I have like most of my friends are the same friends I've had from high school or college.
Hmm.
So
I
same.
really, you know what, like high school wise, I don't think I'm really like friends with anyone anymore from actual high school that I
Mhm.
went to high school with. There's people that I will like we follow each other on social media
Mhm.
and we'll like comment on each other's stuff or like send messages to and from, but actually people that I sit down and break bread with or communicate with from high school.
Mhm.
Mm-mm. And but I also wasn't really good with staying in contact with people.
Mhm.
I was we were saying how we met last time and
Mhm.
I was how I was like surprised that we have even stayed friends for so long because you moved away when we were in high school.
Yeah.
And I've had because I went to school on a military base, so
Mhm.
there were people always moving. And so I mean when someone moved, they just moved.
Yeah. See ya.
And I mean it just kind of went with the territory.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've just as I've gotten older though, I purposely try to be a lot better with stewarding my friendships well
Mhm.
versus like just letting people go off the wayside. So I'm better
Yeah.
with it now, but in high school I wasn't really that really wasn't my focus.
I feel like I was better with it before than I am now. Because I feel like now
Mhm.
I'm okay being by myself. Like, of course, I talk to you, but like, I'm okay not going places and not really talking to people. Which I
Me
don't know, maybe it's
too.
a season that I'm in my life, and I do have
Mhm.
a little boy, so he takes up a lot of time. But
Mhm.
I don't know. I just feel like it is for me anyways. It's kind of harder to make friends, but then
Yeah.
so I don't really care to make friends at this age. Like I don't know. I talk to people I
Yeah.
work with, but it's not like, oh, let's get together after work type thing. Like
Hmm.
no, we
I
just
used to pray, like, that used to be one of my prayers. I'm like, Lord, like, please send me good friends, good community. And I feel like it used to be a prayer that I would pray often. But
mm-hmm.
now it's not that I like don't want good community or anything, but I guess I'm at a point where I'm comfortable with the people that I already have in my life in a
Yeah.
sense. So, but I just don't like having a lot of friends. It's a lot of energy.
It is a lot of energy. It really is. It's a lot of energy and different personalities and different
Hmm.
expectations. So yeah.
I like having my select few people that I know that I can count on, go to, I can do things with, and as long as I have that, I feel fine.
Yeah. And also for me, I think right now, one thing is because had a breakup. I'm in
Mhm.
a place where I'm like, I don't really want to talk to people like that because like I don't need other people's emotions right now. Like
Mhm.
I'm good, I'm okay, but I'm saying like I don't know, I don't want to have to commit to other people's feelings as far as like friendship. Like I'm good with the people that I'm friends with now,
Yeah.
and I just
Because if
don't.
you are going to be a good friend to someone, even
Mm,
though I know everyone, like, people now are saying how you have different levels of friendships, you have different friends for
mhm,
different things.
mm,
However, if I feel if you're going to be a good friend to someone, because that's a relationship, and
mhm,
relationships takes work, that's going to be something that takes time
mhm.
and energy.
Yeah.
And if you don't have it, then you just don't have it. And sometimes you don't have a lot of energy to give at certain periods of life.
Nah, I don't got none of this period. I
But but when you have friends
mhm.
already, it's like they get it. They
Yeah.
understand. Like,
Yeah.
if you are in a season or point in your life where I feel like you do, like, or I know that you don't have a lot of energy to give, then I know that because I'm your friend and we communicate. But
Yeah.
it's something different when you're like actively trying to build a friendship with
Yeah.
someone. That takes more energy on the front end
Mhm.
than keeping a friendship that you've already had.
Exactly. And I feel like it was easier to build friendships when I was younger.
Hmm.
I don't know, there was no thought put into it. You just got along and you just talked and hung out, like, But now it's kind of like, I don't know, I think it's more to it now because people are in different places in their life.
Hmm.
So it's like, oh, do you have a family? Do you have a kid? Or do you have nothing going on, so you have nothing but time, so you want to talk all day, every day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's important too because if
Yeah.
if you don't have anything else going on and you just want to talk all day, every day, I
I
don't
mean,
think.
that's actually kind of questionable for, just think that's a little questionable for anyone that is an adult. And I don't
Yeah,
care what stage of an adult you are. There's no reason why I there's no reason why I should be talking to you all day, every day. I should be doing, like, at some
yeah,
point there should be something else that is taking my energy.
right. We doing something else.
And, like, I mean, a text here and there throughout the day,
Mhm.
like, we do that. We text throughout the day,
Yeah,
multiple days a week.
yeah,
However, me, like, us just being on the phone and all
mhm.
day, every day, and
Yeah. Like, girl,
I
let
would be
me
like, Bree, you don't, does Casey need you?
go be a mom. So next we have our question. I'm gonna pull a question out. See
Oh, you have pink and I have green.
how cute, girl. I was so not into it at work. I said, "What do you miss adult childhood?"
About childhood?
Yeah, maybe that's what I meant to say. What do you miss about your childhood?
One thing that I do miss about childhood is being under the same roof as my siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just don't have that dynamic anymore, you
Yeah.
know? And more often now, it's one of us will be with the other or a few of us together, but someone is always missing.
Yeah. I think for me, what I miss about childhood was I didn't have any expectations on myself. So I was just living life. Like, of course, I had goals and stuff like that, but I don't feel like I was as hard on myself as a child.
For sure.
The freedom of childhood, I guess.
Less choices.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's always a bad thing.
No, it's not. Too many choices, too much stress.
Mm-hmm.
Too many options.
Yeah. Do you think change is always good?
If it's a good change, honestly, my immediate answer is going to be yes. Change is always good, even though I don't always like change. But sometimes it can be bad change. So I don't know. That's a good question. I guess I would say no. Not always good because in my mind I'm thinking of like bad changes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
because you get good and bad ones.
Yeah.
But I would say too that no, it's not always good. I feel as though you can always get something good within change.
Mm-hmm.
Like something that you could maybe be learning within it, or something that you grow within it, but the change necessarily isn't always good. Like it doesn't feel good in the moment. It's not something that you would think is a good thing, but something good can come from it.
Yeah.
But it's not always good.
No, it's not. Not always good. Unless you're an optimistic person, I guess, and you like learn something from the change.
Yeah, I used to be the person that would say, "Oh, I like change." But the older that I've gotten, I'm like, I don't think I necessarily do like change, but I like to think that I do.
Yeah, I know I don't. I do not like change. I don't care. It can be the smallest thing. I just don't like change. Once I get like the habit of something or I'm used to it, I just want to stay comfortable.
Yeah, it depends on the thing or the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I probably don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Only like it when I think something's good gonna happen for me.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're doing well in your adulthood?
So yeah, last February or this past February, I thought I was, and I was proud of myself. But I've had a lot of changes since then.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of personal changes since then, and like some things that were out of my control. And so I will say that I feel like I'm doing well within how I'm handling the changes that I've had. However, sometimes I don't feel like I'm actually doing well overall.
You're talking about like big picture of where you are.
Yeah, and I think when I say that, I think it's more so of that feeling of like just like not liking where you are right now, or the situation, or wanting to be somewhere else. But overall, I think that I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, I think you're
with
doing great.
The cards that have been given.
Yeah. And then I feel like if it's out of your control, you know what I'm saying? It's all about how you handle it. Because you literally can't do anything about it. So like you can look at it like, okay, it's out of my control and this is the way I'm handling it. But when you think about it, like on the flip side, if it was somebody else in your same situation, they probably would have handled it completely different and it would have been not okay. Like you just set yourself back 20 months. or so. Like, what are you doing? You know? So I feel like it's
Right.
all how you handle it when it's out of your
That's true. That's true.
Mine's like the opposite. If you would have asked me, yours is 7 months ago. If you would have asked me 7 months ago, honestly, 7 months ago, I would have been like, it's okay. But like now, I feel like I have a little bit, just a tiny bit of regret.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like can't go back and change it.
Right. Right.
Moving forward and like what I'm doing now. But if I feel like I'm okay, I'm like,
Yeah.
so I'm optimistic in the fact that I know it'll be better.
Yes, I like to say that our better days are always ahead.
Yeah.
We could have had great, like, our experiences, our memories, they could have been great, but there's always better days ahead. That's how I like to look at it. And that's what keeps me. Sometimes you just gotta like keep telling yourself something.
You know what I've been telling myself recently? And for everybody, it won't mean anything. But for me, I keep telling myself Jesus didn't start doing his ministry and out on the scene until he was 30.
I just feel like my 30s are gonna be like
Yeah.
I've heard people say that are past their 30s that their 30s were good years.
Yeah.
And it seems as though people say that like your 20s or your prime. But I'm like, your 20s are a struggle.
Yeah. Yeah. Not be
Your
my
20s, prime where?
right. No, yeah.
I'm figuring this all out. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm thinking 30s, you will have a better grasp on what you want. You'll probably have a better understanding of things. Career wise, you might be a little more grounded. I don't know. I'm praying that my 30s don't disappoint me, but right now I feel like the 30s are going to be it. Those are going to be some good years.
Yeah, I pray so. I really pray so. I mean, I feel like it only can go up. So yeah.
Right. It can only get better. Like I said, our best days are ahead of us.
Yeah, because I feel like in your 20s, I feel like that should be like the time you're trying to set your foundation in life. And I feel like in your 20s, you're going to make mistakes, you're learning, you're growing. Because when you hit 30, you should have the wisdom from the past 2 years. You should have the experiences, and you should be more settled into life.
Yeah. Like, we have to always remember that we're never going to, like, get to this point or place where we've just arrived. And every decade, we're going to be learning and evolving. But even though we're still learning and evolving, I'm questioning if I'm in my 30s and I'm still acting like I'm in my 20s.
Yes. That would be kind of disappointing. Oh, gosh. I'm 30. Get it together.
Yeah, a little bit. What advice would you give someone who hates change?
That's a good one. You thought deep. Okay, so I used to hate this when people would say like something bad happens or whatever, and they'd be like, "Well, everything's a lesson." I used to hate when people said that, but now I feel like that's true. Because aside from getting wisdom from God, the only way to get wisdom is experience. So I feel like change, whether good or bad, you should get some type of wisdom from it. Learn something that'll better help you in life.
Yeah.
So as long as you're learning from it, this should be
right. I agree, because I think I would tell them, you've got to get used to it. And I know that doesn't sound like, very good advice. However, that is the one thing that you can always expect is change. Everything's always changing. You're changing. Your environment changes. The things around you are changing. So the best thing to do is to try to embrace it, the best way that you can and try to learn something in the midst of it.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that we're going to be able to escape it.
Right. That's so true.
At all. So embrace it as best as you can.
What's the hardest part about transition?
For me, it's the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
Because I told, like, overall, right, you go into it believing that everything's going to work out for your good, and but you don't necessarily know how that's going to look, and you don't know how long you're going to be in this change, and that can be a little scary.
Yeah.
And even crippling, depending on how much energy you put into feeling that way. But yeah, that's the hardest thing, just trying to stay positive in the midst of it and having faith that it's going to work out for you. I feel like for me right now, going through change, I feel like faith has been the biggest thing. Because usually, you think about faith that you're believing in what you can't see, and you're believing that it's going to come to pass. But what I've been working on right now is like having that like longevity faith of not just believing it, but being able to stay in that mindset of belief no matter how long it's going to take for me to get to that other side of what the change is. So it's the fear of the unknown. Not knowing how it's going to play out, or how long you're going to be in that gray area of not really knowing.
Yeah, that is so true. And that reminds me, because I was literally thinking about this at work, scrolling on TikTok at work, but I was scrolling on TikTok and I was seeing so many lives of psychics and tarot cards. They would have so many views on there. And of course, don't do that. But I was thinking, like, why do they get so many views? Why do so many people do that? And it's because people like have an obsession with wanting to knowing like what's next, what's to come. Like, especially if they're not happy with where they're at right now. Like, will this work out? Should I make this move? What's gonna happen if I do this? How is my life gonna be in a year from now? Whatever, like that. And that's true. Like the fear of the unknown. And I think for me, that's the same thing with transition is comfortability, because obviously I was comfortable with where I was just at, and then also not knowing what's next, what's going to come of this. But I feel like you mentioned faith. I don't know what everybody believes, but I believe in God. And so that being my foundation, I know like it's going to work out because there's just no way it's not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not gonna have me out here looking crazy. So I was telling you, remember about, I feel like my life has gone into a shift, like a transition.
Yeah.
And I can tell because, all the different things that have been happening. And I was not happy about it. When I first realized it, I said, absolutely not. I am not going through no shift because I don't accept this. But I had to accept it. And like in accepting it, I realized like if I'm going through this transition, it's for something greater. Like it's not to take me backwards. So I feel like that's the most challenging thing is not knowing.
Not knowing.
But yeah, if you have faith that it will work out, then it's gonna work out for sure.
So what things in your life would you hate to change?
I guess I wouldn't want to change how I'm feeling towards life right now.
That's
I wouldn't
good.
say it's exactly where I want it to be, and I wouldn't say it's bad either. But like, I like the outlook that I have, because I'm content. I am pretty optimistic.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm not where I want to be, so I'm optimistic of getting to where I want to be.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't change my mindset right now.
That's good. Good question that I can't even answer. That means I have to think of something that I'm content with. So I was like, Lord, what am I content with? Nothing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. Okay. Surely there's something. There's something. I just need to dig a little deeper. You know what? Okay, I actually I like where I live right now. I like the city that I'm in. I feel like there's opportunities. It's growing. I enjoy the pace of it. So I wouldn't want that to change right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially not right now. I just went through
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
All right, thank you all so much for tuning in today's episode, and we hope that you stay connected with us, and we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Where are you going, sweetie? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as well as head on over to our lovely TikTok at CuteConvos, and don't forget to follow. See you next time.